Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Hari PS Videos. Thanks for subscribers and the viewers who are watching my videos. Thank you so much. Then today this session we will start with new chapter in class 10 physical science. Chemistry part is metals and non-metals. So, in class 8, you already know about metals and non-metals. There are some extension to metals and non-metals in class 8. So, let us see what the concepts and what are the topics are in our chapter metals and non-metals. First of all, let's understand what are metals and non-metals, and also another thing very important is metalloids. Metalloids. Here we didn't discuss anything about the metalloids. Just to know what is meant by metalloids. Then what are metals and non-metals, and their physical properties, chemical properties. So, in physical properties, there are different physical properties of metals and non-metals. So, we will discuss the physical properties of metals and non-metals with some examples. As you already know about this, so here I did not discuss much about these metals and non-metals of physical properties and chemical properties. Okay, we discuss anything about this. Is much explanation no need. So because of as you know these properties which are I will learn in class 8. So just to give you the idea what is malleability, ductility, luster, sonority, heat and electric conductivity, hardness and strength, melting point and boiling points, density, state. Right. So these all should be discussed in a brief. Then coming to the chemical properties of metals as well as non-metals. So what are the chemical properties that we are going to discuss? Reaction with air or oxygen, reaction with water, reaction with acids, reaction with bases, reaction with salts, reaction with chlorine, reaction with hydrogen. Then after in connection with these chemical properties, then we can classify the metals, the highly reactive metals, moderate reactive metals, and low reactive metals based on the chemical properties. So especially from this reaction with salts, so by understanding displacement reaction. So as you know about displacement reaction, so we already discussed displacement reaction, the chapter chemical equations and chemical reactions and equations. Then finally uses of metals and non-metals. In what way the metals and non-metals are useful in our day-to-day life. Then this is the one part of the chapter. Then the chapter is classified given two parts. One is completely what are metals and non-metals, physical properties and chemical properties and uses in connection with here the other part also we discuss why these metals and non-metals are reactive, why these many compounds or many molecules or compounds are formed by using the metals and non-metals. So how the compounds or how the molecules are formed. So that topic we can consider as the chemical bond. So together, so the complete topic so about the electronic configuration. So how the electrons are filled in the metals and non-metals. Then after there is very important concept. So chemical bond. So here we discuss two different bonds, ionic bond and covalent bond. Some other bond hydrogen bond. So what is meant by ionic bond? What is meant by covalent bond? Covalent bond again three types: single bond, double bond, and triple bond. Then after the properties of ionic and covalent compounds. So what are ionic compounds? What are covalent compounds? How they form, their properties, and use. So this completely is explains about the chemical bond. Actually, in our textbook given a small part about this chemical bond, ionic bond, and ionic bond is given. So in the chapter carbon and its compounds, the other chemistry part, chemistry chapter, organ compound, carbon and compound, and also given some bonds, right? So covalent bond is given in this chapter. So instead of waiting up to the topic, so here only I explain the chemical bond. What is chemical bond? Types of chemical bond. How the ionic bond is formed. How the covalent bond is formed. How ions are formed. Right? These all are discussed in this chapter, metals and non-metals. So this is one part, metals and non-metals properties. Use one part. Then completely electronic configuration, chemical bond is the other part. Then coming to the third part, metallurgy. With complete study of the occurrence, extraction of metals and metals, so it to be metallurgy. So we will discuss in detail later. So in that topic, we will discuss occurrence of metals, how the metals are occurs in the nature. Then extraction of metals, how we extract the metals. So based on the reactivity, so how we extract the highly reactive metals, how we extract the moderate reactive metals and low reactive metals. Then refining of material, refining of metals, then corrosion and alloys. So this is a brief overview of our chapter metals and non-metals. Metals and non-metals. So very useful chapter. So actually in these three chapters, one is metals and non-metals. Then chemical bond is another chapter, and metallurgy is the other chapter. Whenever you see the old textbooks, metals and non-metals are class 8 actually. Then metallurgy is a complete chapter or separate chapter in class 10 chemistry part, and electronic configuration is one of the part in the chapter atomic structure, and chemical bond is separate chapter in the previous 10th class, previous 10th class textbook. So as syllabus will change, so some of the topics are merged into the other chapter. So whatever the topics are mentioned, then we will discuss in detail, because in the higher studies these topics are very useful to you, right? So this is a simple overview of our chapter metals and non-metals. So let's start the next session. So we will start the metals and non-metals.